Alright folks, buckle up as we dive headfirst into the thrilling chaos of UFC 314 and the ever-changing featherweight rankings. Last night's event was absolutely electric, and I can't stress enough how Alexander Volkanovski reclaimed his title against Diego Lopes. It was like witnessing a master painter at work. Every strike was a brushstroke, meticulously placed for maximum impact.
Wow, hold on a second. So he actually got his title back? That sounds super intense. Do you think he had a specific strategy going into the match, or was it more about relying on his natural skills?
Great question. It was definitely a blend of both. Volkanovski has always been skilled, but this time he showcased his striking precision and defensive movement brilliantly. It reminded me of a chess match. Each move calculated, and each feint a clever tactic to confuse Lopes. After that knockout he suffered before, it felt like he transformed, kind of like how a phoenix rises from the ashes.
Oh man, that's such a cool metaphor. I can totally picture that. Ugh, I love mythology. So, did Lopes stand a chance? Were there moments in the fight when it looked like he might pull something crazy off?
For sure. Lopes is a formidable contender. He stepped in there with the confidence of someone straight out of a blockbuster movie. But Volkanovski's experience truly shone through. There were magical moments when Lopes landed some good shots, like that jaw-dropping spinning kick. It was electrifying. Think of Volkanovski as a highly skilled surfboarder riding a wave. He knows exactly when to catch it and when to ride it out.
Right. So what about Max Holloway and Yair Rodriguez? They always seem to be in the mix. Are they still, the top contenders in this division?
Absolutely. Both Holloway and Rodriguez are still major players. It's almost like a game of musical chairs. Except, the stakes are much higher. And don't forget about Brian Ortega. It creates an exciting atmosphere as these fighters vie for the chance to challenge for the title again.
Whoa, musical chairs with fighters. I can't even imagine the tension. Speaking of which, Patricio Freire is making his UFC debut against Rodriguez, right? That's one to keep an eye on.
Exactly. It's almost like casting a fresh talent in a blockbuster sequel, just to see if they can hold their own. Freire has a lot to prove, but he's got the skills to shake things up. It could lead to some explosive matchups down the pipeline.
Wow, that's super exciting. And what about that Bryce Mitchell fight you mentioned? I heard it was quite the spectacle.
Oh, definitely. Mitchell's fight was controversial, to say the least. The crowd's reaction was like watching a football game with questionable referee calls. Half the people stood up cheering while the others were scratching their heads in disbelief. The beauty of these fights is that they spark conversations and keep the drama alive.
That makes sense. But why were the reactions so mixed? Was it due to skill or some questionable calls?
It turned out to be a little bit of both. The tensions were high, and the judges had a tough job. Sometimes you've got fighters who absolutely dominate but don't end up getting the win, leaving fans frustrated and clamoring for clarity. It reflects just how subjective judging can be in combat sports.
So true. Their decisions really shape the outlook for fighters and their careers, right? It's like being a judge in a talent show. What a wild responsibility.
Exactly. And each fight at UFC 314 sets the tone for what's to come in the featherweight division. Fans are buzzing with speculation about future matchups, possible rivalries, and who knows what else. It's like waiting for the next great film sequel. You just can't wait to see how the story unfolds.
Wow, I just love where this is going. So let's keep an eye out for the next big clashes. What's on the horizon for everyone?
Definitely. Stay tuned for all the updates. And let's not forget, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and share your thoughts on these thrilling fights, because we're in for an incredibly exciting year ahead.